All right. I think I have three pretty firmly held draft takes that I just want to throw at you. See what you think. Am I out of my mind? Number one, Ryan Dunn, the Virginia wing who is widely regarded as the best defensive player in this draft, would simply be a do not draft for me if I were the Toronto Raptors. I don't think his offense is it. I think the 20% from three and 53% from the line is enough for me to say, I don't know how this works on a team with Scotty Barnes and currently Jakob Poeltl. Ryan Dunn is a do not draft for me. Tell me why I'm wrong.
I think with the 31st pick, it's fine.
Okay.
I would not in the first round if I were the Raptors.
Okay.
So I actually posed the question on Twitter the other day, like, what is Ryan Dunn's offensive role in the NBA? I struggle mightily with Ryan Dunn. Like, he is an outlier defensively. Like, he is a phenomenal defensive prospect. Really good on the ball, excellent ground coverage guy. His balance is insane. Had a block rate over 10, which would be stellar for a center. He had a steal rate of 3.1, like outlier great defender, outlier bad offensive player, unfortunately. I have like a metric tool that I kind of use personally. He had a red flag assist rate. The amount of his scoring volume was a red flag. His 3-point percentage, 3-point volume, catch and shoot 3-point percentage, his usage rate, all red flags. Like, it is it. I've never seen such a red flag laden offensive profile. What I will say is he's very strong downhill. I think he can actually dribble a little bit. And I think he's got a little bit of downhill passing. I think there are worlds where you can play him as a 4 if you do have that spacing around him and use him almost as like a roll man. I'm like even doubting it myself as I say. He's not the biggest dude in the world. Like, he's 6'8", 7'1" wingspan. Those are great measurements for a forward. If I'm picking at 31, I think there's a chance that I just say, you know what, maybe we'll figure out the offense thing at some point and take this guy who is just outlier good in one area and hope that the outlier bad can be remedied. But I would not take him at 19 for the Raptors.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. And yeah, I mean, 31, yeah, I could see a little bit more. Even then, man.
Even then, I think there's going to be guys on the board that are better fit.
Yeah. My second most firmly held draft take, and look, these things are fleeting. I change my mind on things all the time. But right now, my absolute favorite guy I want the Raptors to take at 19 is DaRon Holmes II.
Yeah.
And I think he actually, I know he played center a lot at college. I think 95% of his minutes in the NBA come as a 3 or a 4. And I think the guys he most reminds me of are championship season Pascal Siakam and modern day Jaden McDaniels. I think this dude can, like, maybe he hasn't been sort of asked to do it yet, but he just seems like the kind of guy who is enormous, long, kind of impossible to get around, who has this sort of funky package of offensive moves to go to, maybe never going to be a primary guy or anything like that. You know, Pascal Siakam went from that to like this whole other world of awesome that I don't see in Holmes's future. But
sure,
I really love the package with Holmes. I love his little post game. I love all the little things he does, the pick and pop stuff. To me, he features as like, the ideal 3-4 hybrid forward for any team in the modern NBA. I love DaRon Holmes. Tell me why I'm wrong.
So I see Holmes more as a big. Like, the idea of the 3 is like way too rich for me. I see him as like a 4-5 big. I don't think he has the lateral agility of like a Jaden McDaniels. Like, I don't think he's that quick. I don't think he has the power, like downhill force of a Siakam, but I think he's really good. Like, I think at 19, I don't bat an eye if that's who the Raptors take. I have him in that range. Stellar ball handler for his size. Like, Dayton would have him just bring the ball up the court and like run inverted pick and roll stuff with him. Like, he is very skilled with the ball in his hands, and that's new. He came into college as a post-up big. The intel on him is stellar. This is a kid who really wants to like round out his game and get better at every single aspect of the game, and you see it on the court. Even just with the passing decisions he made. He was always one of those guys that was a capable passer, but not a good passer. Like, he could do really cool stuff, and now he's a genuinely great decision maker. Defensively, has some real ball screen versatility. I wish he was a little stronger, a little bit more physical on the glass. Like, that's the thing that kind of hangs me up with him a little bit, is like kind of the same questions he had about Filipowski. Like, is the interior stuff all the way there with Holmes? But I think at worst, you're getting one of the more interesting, scheme versatile, competent backup centers in the league. Like, I think Holmes has a really safe floor on him. especially when you take the character stuff into consideration. Like, he is a very, very hard worker who has transformed the way he plays and gotten great results from the work he's put in. So I think that would be a good pick at 19 if that were the route they were to go.
Perhaps not as bullish as I am, but nobody is. I'm the DaRon Holmes head, apparently. And
sure.
I'm glad to be a little bit vindicated in my unabashed belief. All right, last one for you. This one's like, it's got some heat to it. You know,
Let's go.
I think the most likely player in this draft to, and look, the likelihood of this happening is infinitesimal. It's probably not happening. But the most likely player in this draft to win a scoring title in the NBA is Jalen Tyson. That dude can score. And he can do it in a whole bunch of different ways. And I'm not saying that I think he's going to win a scoring title, but I think he's my favorite scorer in this draft. Maybe Rob Dillingham, sort of notwithstanding, but I don't like Rob Dillingham all that much. I really, really like Jalen Tyson. Would be super down if he were a Raptors pick. Give me the thoughts on it. Seems like you strongly disagree with this one, which, hey, fair enough. It's kind of an insane take.
So I like Jalen Tyson. And I think if there's a little bit of rewiring to how he goes about his approach, which like Cal, so he played for Cal last year. Cal was very bad. Jalen Tyson got his eligibility waiver, and Cal was like a perfectly fine Pac-12 team after that. They needed Jalen Tyson to play the way he played college basketball. Like, I'm not saying like, actually, he shouldn't have been in the mid post. That's what they needed to do to win games. Like, they had to do it. Where he scores and how he goes about scoring is going to look a lot different in the NBA. He's got a lot of like pretty mid-range stuff, which I love as like a bailout option. He's going to have to be a lot more straight line in the NBA. He wasn't great as a driver this past year. He does have a tendency to settle when he creates advantages and take pull-ups instead of getting all the way to the rim. His decision-making, like, I think the floor, and I hate doing like negative draft talk, the floor looks something like Denzel Valentine to me, where like occasionally he just makes some really frustrating decisions with the ball as a passer or like with the shot selection. Like, that's the stuff that scares me. I worry about the defense with him. But I do think he's a really capable scorer. And similar to DaRon Holmes, I think he's like a capable passer. Like, he has his moments where it's like, you can see the gears are turning. This stuff just needs to kind of be workshopped. Had kind of a weird journey through college basketball that like definitely plays a part of it. And a lot of that was not his fault also. But yeah, I think he's a good scorer. I worry what he looks like in a complementary role. If like the decision-making passing stuff is going to be there, if the defense is going to be there. And if he's going to take the right shots when he's in a more tertiary role.
I knew I had a bad take in here. That was it.
I think he's good. He's in the first round for me right now. So I don't think he's bad. I see some people that are really high on him, and I just have more reservations on his game than others, I think.
That's fair enough. For what it's worth, I don't think anyone in this draft class is ever going to win a scoring title. Would Dillingham be your guy if there was one?
I guess, maybe. I don't
resounding support.
Well, I like, and like the thing is, like, I feel like I like this class a little bit more than a lot of people, but like I just don't see like a scoring title guy in there. I guess it would have to be Dillingham. It would have to be like Dillingham under the right circumstances. And I'm not even a huge, like you, I'm not a huge Dillingham guy, but I think if you were to say, you gun to your head, you got to pick a scoring title guy, it's probably Dillingham.
The circumstance feels like similar to the 2005-2006 Toronto Raptors, where Mike James just decides, I'm averaging 20 a game. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm taking every shot. If Rob Dillingham has a Mike James season in him, he could just go well and win a scoring title. And I think we'd all be better for having seen it.
For sure. I agree with that.